Good evening, friends. Today, I'd like to give the seminar about the topic of deductive databases. And my name is Ravi Shankar Govindu. And today, I'm going to give the seminar on this topic, deductive databases. So, the introduction of deduction is the people have the ability to fascinate to get realities from a bunch of information, despite the fact that these realities are not unequivocally addressed in the information and that is given fitting data. People can reason new data by applying the rules. And for example, suppose if we take a person of some individuals and therefore we could reason their grandparents, distant grandparents, etc., regardless of the way that these realities were not expressly addressed in the first information. And the detective database is contains not only facts but also it has the rules, and these rules can be used to deduce new facts that are not explicitly represented in the database, and that is data can be stored implicitly. And for example, if we take the following detective database, John is Bill's father and Bill is Derek's father, and if X is Y's father and Y is Z's father, then X is Z's grandfather. So in addition to these facts, the database also contains a rule that specifies the grandfather relationship between a pair of entities. Like if you take the database, can prove the statement that John is Eric's grandfather by making the following substitution into the rule that X equal to John and Y equal to Bill and Z is equal to Derek. And what actually the detective database means is the advanced database augmented with an inference system is known as detective database. And detective database have grown out of desire to combine logic programming with relational databases and to construct systems that support a powerful formalism. And the advantage of this is that it can potentially reduce the space needed to store the data also. And some of the more advantages are detective database system. We typically specify rules through a declarative language. And the declarative language means in which we can specify what to achieve rather than how to achieve. And an inference engine within the system can deduce new facts from the database by interpreting the rules. And detective databases have not found widespread adoptions outside the academia, but some of their concepts are used in today's relational database and some of the more features in the SQL standards too. So, why the detective databases are important means it has many advantages, such as the data can be stored implicitly using the rules rather than explicitly, and this reduces the amount of storage of the database occupies. And the rules also follows us to store new kind of data such as recursive data, and it incorporates the features and power of the logic programming languages. And the specification of database is it is based on the logic has used Prolog as a starting point, and a variation of Prolog called Datalog is used to define rules declaratively in conjunction with an existing set of relations which are themselves treated as literals in the language. A database has two main types of specifications such as facts and rules, and the facts can be considered as the data stored as relations in a relational database, and also the facts are specified in a manner similar to the way relations are specified, and such as rules are not similar to relational views, but they specify virtual relations that are not actually stored but that can be formed from the facts by applying inference mechanisms. And this is the data log notation, which is used in Prolog based on providing predicates with unique names. And a predicate has an implicit meaning which is suggested by the predicate name and a fixed number of arguments. And if the arguments are all constant values, the predicate simply states that a certain fact is true. And if the predicate has variables such as arguments, it is either considered as a query or as a part of rule. And a program is built from basic objects called atomic formulas. Atomic formulas are literals of the form such as P of A1, A2, so on to AN, whereas P is the predicate name and N is the number of arguments for the predicate P. And the different predicate symbols can have different number of arguments. And the number of arguments N of predicate P is sometimes called the degree of P. And in this data log notation, the arguments can be either constant values or variable names such as constant values or either numeric character strings starting with lowercase letters, whereas variable names always starts with an uppercase letters. And this is all about the detective databases and the advantages and types of prologues or data log notations. Thank you.